Let's say China.
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 China. China.
There are no storm movers, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump's tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel? What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes. Hello, and welcome. I am James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, the only news you need if you're sitting there going, I wonder what happened today. Then this is the news show for you. It's Thursday, the 5th of October 2017, and today I am feeling optimistic, which, if you're a long-time listener of the show, you'll know that that is not something that happens every single day. But today, the National Rifle Association, I know, I'm going to pause for a second, the NRA, has called on the federal government to have a look at the legality of bump stocks. I know, I am almost speechless over this one. The NRA, they've said they want additional regulations on bump stocks, which, as you'll remember, we talked about yesterday. It's a rapid-fire device which turns a semi-automatic weapon into a fully automatic weapon. Well, the NRA, I know, I can't believe I'm just going to keep saying the NRA, has said we need to look at putting additional regulations on something that belongs on a gun. Did I wake up in a different world? Is this Bizarro Earth? Am I Bizarro James Andrews? Even Republicans have said that they would consider banning the device. I can't think of another time when Republicans and the NRA have actually said, you know what, that's something that maybe, just maybe, that shouldn't be legal. I know it's a right and all that, but we're talking human rights or gun rights. God in heaven. And to make this even more bizarre, guess where I read that? That right now is front page news on foxnews.com. What the hell is going on? Is this still America? Is this 2017? I don't know. This is fantastic, and now you can see why I am in a slightly positive mood today. This is great. And I'm not going to talk about the shooting in Las Vegas today at all. And the inspiration for this comes from two people called Tom and Karen Tevis. Now, they started an organization called NoNotoriety. And they're the parents of Alex Tevis, who was one of the people killed in the Aurora theater shootings in 2012. Well, they started this organization, and it's a wonderful organization. You can actually find it online at NoNotoriety.com. And their mission is to make it so that these shooters don't get famous for committing mass murder. I was watching a documentary yesterday about this issue, and it makes perfect sense to me, because when you look at all these mass shootings that we have in the US, the first thing all the news outlets do is talk about the shooter, who they were, what their connections are, why did they do it, how did they do it, what did they look like, where did they go to school, did they have any pets? They make them famous. And these shooters, they love it. They love the fame. And so what NoNotoriety does is it says, no, don't mention them by name, don't put photographs of them online, don't talk about them at all. Refer to them simply as the shooter, or fuckhead if you want, that's fine as well. They don't say that on their website, but I am sure that they would be quite okay with calling them fuckhead or the shooter. And so that's it. So This Happened will never name mass murdering fuckheads by name. It's a wonderful idea because they don't deserve fame. They're scum, they're crap people. So why would we want to make them famous by blasting their photographs all over the internet and talking about them continually? There's really no point. Some arsehole shot a bunch of people and killed them. That's it, he's an arsehole. We're not going to mention his name, so that's it. Never going to mention anyone's name again. I love this. I think it's a wonderful cause. And I do urge you to get on the website and have a look at it. They're wonderful people. They've been for a terrible, terrible thing, losing their son like that. But, they're trying to turn it around and do something good. And so, for what it's worth, the absolute adoration and admiration of So This Happens goes to Tom and Karen Tevis for starting this wonderful organization. So well done, cheers. And I might just be high on my own sense of excitement today because of what I've been reading, but it does feel to me that maybe this time, maybe we are going to start having a dialogue about sensible gun control. The media is really starting to push it, I feel. There is some statistics released today which I find absolutely staggering, and if you haven't heard these, I'm pretty sure you're going to be absolutely amazed by these as well. But it's been found that since 1968, more Americans have died by gun violence than have died in all the wars that the US has fought since the beginning of the US. It's staggering, isn't it? In the American wars from 1775 to 2017, 1.20 million people have been killed. That's a staggering number. But hold on to your hats, because since 1968, people killed by firearms is 1.53 million. That blows my mind. And you know what that also does? It makes you look at that. I don't care who you are. You've got to look at that figure and go, holy shit, we have a problem. If more people have been killed by guns since 1968 than have been killed in all the wars that America have fought in, then we have a huge problem. And I just have this feeling that maybe now a dialogue is going to be opened up about this. I might be wrong, but for today, I am holding fast to that maybe, just maybe, we're going to start talking about this and we're going to see some meaningful change. But of course, having said that, there is still a very long way to go. There are many people who will argue, literally to their death, you cannot take my guns. I have the right to have any gun I want. They'll even argue that what guns were used in Las Vegas this weekend were not even really that powerful. They were just sort of normal guns. And on Piers Morgan's program in the United Kingdom this morning, he was on there with a pro-gun campaigner, a chap called Dan Roberts. And, well, I'm going to let Piers handle it because he does it better than I could. And I'm not normally a massive Piers Morgan fan, but I think he does quite a good job here. But you'll see just how, to my mind, ridiculous some of these pro-gun people are.
Let me ask you again, what can possibly justify anyone being able to buy 42 weapons, many of which were high-powered semi-automatic rifles? How can you justify that?
Piers, here you go again. There is nothing exceptionally high-powered about an AR-15. In fact, it shoots the most low-powered center-fire rifle cartridge available on the market in the United States.
The man just shot 600 people. Of course they're high-powered. Okay. We heard the bullets go off ourselves. We heard them firing, Dan. You're talking complete and utter nonsense.
There are 20 different calibers of very common hunting rifle cartridges that will go through any police officer's vest, period. They're not classified as armor piercing. They're not anything that are regulated at all. The facts are the AR-15 is the least powerful center-fire rifle on the market in the United States, period.
Well, then there's even bigger problems, isn't there? If the semi-automatic AR-15 this guy used to shoot 600 people in a few minutes...
And so I just wanted to play a snippet of it. I didn't want to play the entire interview. If you want to find it, I'm sure you can go to YouTube and find that. It is a pretty explosive interview. But right there, the guy's not arguing that it was a bad thing that happened, just that the gun's used, but they're a low-powered weapon. You can buy even more powerful weapons in America. I'm not quite sure what the point he was trying to make was, because it seems like he sort of backed himself into a corner, because he said, no, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to take people's guns away. And besides, the gun that was used in Las Vegas was the least powerful gun you can buy in America. So there. It makes no sense, does it? That literally makes absolutely no sense. He basically just said, oh, it could have been so much worse. He could have used one of the other weapons, which are much more powerful. And that is going to be the problem that we face, is people like that who are just so immovable because they are so indoctrined in this Second Amendment right is all, it's everything, and by God, you can have as much of it as you want because that is your right. And we have to get past them and say, okay, but... And that's where I get lost, because I literally don't know how to argue with these people, because I've met many of them and I've tried to have the argument with them, and you know that old phrase, you can't argue with stupid? I don't want to say that because that's rude, but you can't argue with stupid. If somebody is so immovable in their principle that that is all they see, then trying to get around it and say, yeah, but let's put that aside for just a second and have a look at the actual human cost of this. It's not going to matter to them. Because the human cost, they don't care about that. And honestly, I think that's the only thing it can be, right? They don't give a shit about the human cost of this. All they care about is that you cannot take their guns away from them. 59 people die, fuck, I don't care. So long as I can still keep my guns. And that's the problem. And I don't know, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to get through to people who are like that. And I hope that there is somebody much smarter than I am who can figure out how to get through that blockage. That sort of absolute immovable position that pro-gun people seem to have adopted. Somehow we have to break that wall down before we can even start having the discussion. And now I'm going all negative. You see how I did that? I started off all positive, and then I listen to that interview and I get all negative again. Because I just don't understand it, and I don't know how to get through to them. And that makes me a bit of a sad panda, really. Because usually I'm quite good at talking people into things. Oh, that sounds awful. But not talking into things, but usually I can get my point across to people where they go, oh, you know what? I hadn't thought about it that way. That's quite, yeah, okay, that does make sense. But with pro-gun people, I've tried it. I mean, I've bought them cake. Chocolate cake. That doesn't even work. They go, oh, thanks for the chocolate cake, but I'm keeping my fucking guns. And now on to something completely different. Hypocrisy. I love hypocrisy, I really do. And this one is particularly delicious. If hypocrisy could be delicious, this one is. A pro-life congressman said that he will not seek re-election when it turns out that he urged his lover to get an abortion when she became pregnant. Congressman Tim Murphy had an extramarital affair with a lady called Miss Edwards. She found out that she might be pregnant, and he sent her texts urging her to have an abortion so the news would not come out. And what makes this hypocrisy even more spectacular is that this announcement comes just a day after Mr. Murphy voted on a bill that would outlaw abortions after 20 weeks. So it makes me wonder, did he sort of go, oh shit, she's coming up to 18 weeks. Listen, get that fucking thing out of you right now, because, listen, I just voted for 20 weeks. You're about there, so let's just get it out right now. And Congressman Murphy is someone that has been praised by the Family Research Council, which is a conservative Christian lobbying group, for his very strong stance on abortion issues and also on family values. So this is like a twofer. This is brilliant. Not only did he cheat on his wife, okay, which is bad enough, right? But then he knocked up some other lady he was sleeping with and then said, you know what, I know I say all this shit on television and in my speeches, but you got to get rid of that thing, okay? So I'll pay for it, don't worry. You just go take care of that, because I don't really care. I'll just say it because I want, Oh, hypocrisy. I love it. I do. I really do. Anyway, listen, we are out of time for the day. So it was a good conversation. As always, thank you for joining me. And if you would like to continue this conversation, we can do so on Twitter at SoThisHappen. And also, if you would be so kind as to subscribe and like the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you are listening to my voice. Anyway, have a great evening, and we will do this all over again tomorrow. Take care.